If you can dream it, we can plan it. Oh, where do you want to go? Just let me know. Magic moments, far off oceans. We're chasing sunsets, chasing hope. Pack your bags, we'll handle the rest. With dreams and destinations, we're chasing the best. Your imagination, our inspiration. We'll take you coast to coast, no hesitation. Like dreams and destinations. Oh, 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 oh.
Hello and welcome to Dreams and Destinations, a travel podcast brought to you by the agents of A Dream and a Wish Travel Co. I am your host, Ashlyn, aka the Duchess of Disney, and I am joined by my co-host, the delightfully dazzling, the cheerfully charming, the vibrantly vivacious, the one, the only, Travel with Liz.
Okay, I have to know, do you write these down?
I do. I absolutely do.
Oh,
because
okay.
now I feel like I have to one-up myself every week with the adjectives.
You know, by our 1 year anniversary, you're going to be going down like the entire thesaurus. You're going to have a Webster's thesaurus and you're just going, oh, yes, this is another one. This is another one.
I'm going to come out here with 24 letter words. It's going to be great.
Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
There you go.
There you go.
Okay.
How's your week been?
It's been really good, actually. May the 4th was awesome, which, by the way, I went back and listened to our Star Wars episode, our Galaxy's Edge episode last week. And side note, if you guys haven't listened to that yet, go listen to it. Our special guest was awesome. It's such a good episode. But I realized at the top of the show, you asked me what my favorite Star Wars movie was. And
I didn't say
you
mine.
didn't answer. So we need to know.
It's Empire.
Okay. That's like, those are the two. Yeah.
I do love A New Hope, but there's just something about like the battle scene on Hoth with the AT-ATs and the whole scene with the Tauntaun and then Cloud City and Lando Calrissian. Like there's just something about that one. It's
a solid flick.
Well, and that's the one that introduces you to Yoda, who is still one of my favorite characters. You don't meet him until Empire.
Wait a minute. I might have to change my answer.
Ooh.
Can I change, or are there no takesies, backsies?
You can change. You can change.
Might be Empire Strikes Back. But yeah, my week was great. How has your week been? Happy Cinco de Mayo and happy early Mother's Day also to everybody.
Forgot that was this weekend because, believe it or not, I have a volleyball tournament. So.
Oh, happy Mother's Day.
Shucker. I get to get up and coach other people's children. Happy Mother's Day to me. Yeah, but so it's Cinco de Mayo, and yet I am drinking a Jameson and ginger.
Get it, girl.
So you ready for the road of how we got to this?
It's story time, ladies and gentlemen.
So I went to Publix, and if you do not have a Publix in your region of the United States, it's not expensive. I don't care what anybody says, because they have buy one, get one frees that are all around holidays. So because it's Cinco de Mayo, you can imagine what all the BOGOs are, right?
Oh.
It's like taco shells, salsa,
I'm
chips,
sure.
Whatever.
Yeah.
This Mexican street corn dip that I found that sublime.
Ooh.
Sublime. Anywho, I was hoping to find like Coronas or Modelo or some sort of Mexican anything, like beer, something that was on BOGO. Wasn't on BOGO, and I wasn't about to spend $12 on a 6-pack of Corona because ew.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I'm 95% sure I have tequila at the house. I'll just get a bunch of limes because I like to make like fresh margaritas with limes and simple syrup. I don't like the mixer. So I said, no big deal. Get home, guess what's not in my liquor cabinet like I thought it was. So I looked through my liquor cabinet. I had rum, I had vodka, I had like all my stuff to make a Jedi mind trick, but no tequila. And so I just said, all right, what can I mix? I have limes. I'm making a Jameson and ginger because this is the founding drink of the Jameson Distillery. I learned that in Dublin. When you clocked out of your shift at the Jameson Distillery, you got either a double Jameson and ginger with a lime, a Jameson on the rocks with a lime, or a Jameson neat with a lime. And that was part of your like clock out shift drink if you worked at the factory. So
you are kidding me right now.
Yep.
All right. Everyone else take note. All of the other employers of the world take note. People need a stiff drink after the workday.
They drink in the downstairs bar of the place of employment.
That sounds fabulous.
Yeah, very cool. If you ever go back to Dublin, or if you ever go to, you've never been to Ireland, have you?
No, I haven't done Ireland
So
yet.
if when
That's
you
on
do
the list.
Ireland, the Jameson Distillery, very cool.
That's on the list for sure. But yeah, happy Cinco de Mayo. I feel like I should be wearing something Cinco de Mayo-y now.
I know. I considered
Dang
it, but
it.
I had to rock. These are the Aldi ears from the Aldi stock of Disney. They have these cute little ears. So
They're really cute. So in today's episode, we had a little snafu, everybody. We were supposed to be discussing Disneyland versus Disney World with our very special guest, Danny, who is one of the owners of our travel agency. But we had to shift gears to a new topic because Danny had a small honeybee catastrophe.
a catastrophe, if you will.
Oh my! It was a bee-emergency.
She had to buzz on home and fix it.
Oh no! So we needed to postpone Danny's appearance. So don't worry because she will be.
She will be here to
She
tell us her bee tale.
here next week, and we're going to be talking about Disneyland versus Disney World next week instead. So we had to shift gears for today, and we were busy little bees today, weren't we?
Yes, we were.
We had to create an entirely new episode from scratch today. But we do it all for you. We do it all for you, the listeners. We love you so much. So on today's episode, we are diving back into our Walt Disney World Resort Hotel series, where we are talking all about the resorts at Walt Disney World. We're taking an in-depth look at all of these incredible places to stay. In previous episodes, we talked about Disney's budget-friendly options, the value resorts. We chatted about the luxury selection of higher end resorts at Disney World, the deluxe resorts. And we also explored the wonderful and appropriately named moderate resorts. Now, on this episode, we're going to take a look at Disney's deluxe villas and vacation club options. These resorts are perfect for larger families or just for travelers who need a little extra space from those kids. Because sometimes we need that. So this is like their own little subcategory. These Disney Vacation Club and deluxe villas. So Liz, like I said, we've talked about the different types of resorts at Walt Disney World: deluxe, moderate, value. What sets these villas and Disney Vacation Club properties apart from the other categories of hotels?
It's a great question. First and foremost, when you walk into one of these deluxe villas, you are going to notice that they just inherently have more space. So when you talk about a deluxe villa, they can be anywhere from just a standard studio room, a 1-bedroom, a 2-bedroom, and even in some grand, beautiful villas, a 3-bedroom grand villa, Mac Daddy. Ooh, they're nice. They're real nice. But the overall size is just enormous. Like I said, the studios, when you walk into those, you're not walking into just a room. There's always like a small hallway with the bathroom offshoot. They all have kitchenettes in them. At minimum, you have a kitchenette, which means you have I think most of them have replaced their refrigerators with beverage coolers now. But they still do the job just fine. But they all have microwaves in them, coffee makers in them, a little sink that's outside of the bathroom. That's the minimum you're going to get as far as like a kitchen amenity, which for the way my family travels, I absolutely love having a kitchenette option because we bring a lot of food with us since we're always road tripping.
Yeah.
if you've ever seen my reel about my sandwich maker that travels with me everywhere I go, I have this little egg McMuffin maker that I bring right with me. So being able to have like a small little kitchen space where I can make my own breakfast, that's a really good cost saving measure for families, especially larger families, because when you talk breakfast at Walt Disney World, even the quick service breakfasts, you're looking at $8 to $10 minimum a person for breakfast.
Yeah.
And if you're a family of 5, that can become very expensive.
Yeah.
You will also see in all of these, every villa I've ever seen, and correct me if I'm wrong here, Ashlyn, but there is a hidden bed somewhere in that room
Yes.
always.
Everyone.
In some of them, they will have a Murphy bed that converts out of the wall and where the sofa is, or perhaps a dining room table, but it comes right out of the wall. You do find this at some of the value hotels as well. But it looks a little fancier than it does at the value, because we're talking a deluxe resort. So it's a nice little sitting area that folds down to a queen pull down, or some of them have that hidden 5th sleeper or day bed for a little to stay into. Like I said, you will find a lot of these villas that have even more than a kitchenette, where you have a full stocked kitchen. So you walk in and you have a full-size refrigerator, you have a stove, some have dishwashers, a microwave, an oven, and it also has all of those like, what am I thinking? The plates. There's a word for that.
all of the amenities that you would need in your kitchen.
Yeah, so all the kitchen
dishwashing, soap,
right,
kitchen supplies, accoutrement, if you will.
Which, sidebar, my husband loves to stay at the villas because there is a yellow sponge that they provide at all the villas it's like an early version of the Scrub Daddy, and he loves it. And every time we've stayed in a villa, he requests like 10 of them to take home because he loves that little sponge.
That's so funny.
So there you have it. But also, you'll find with a lot of these larger ones too, you're going to get multiple bathrooms, which again, if you're traveling with five people, 6 people, having that second bathroom so somebody can be showering while somebody is using the restroom, that's kind of a game changer for these larger families, is this extra size room. And even the 1-bedrooms, when I've stayed in 1-bedrooms, you might have 2 queen beds in the bedroom, then also have a pull down queen bed in the living room, and then another 5th sleeper. And then lastly, you see in almost every one of them, except for the studios, they have a full-size washer and dryer, which I don't do laundry on vacation, but I know there are people out there that do. I'm looking at you, Brittany, who loves a laundry room. Even at resorts, she does her laundry. Don't get it. But having that full-size washer and dryer makes a big difference when you're traveling too, because maybe you don't want to come home with stinky clothes. Maybe you have a 3-year-old that destroyed their Elsa dress with a chocolate Mickey bar, and you don't want that chocolate to set, and it's a little bit better than a bathtub laundromat. So
especially if you're staying like a longer term, you might want to reuse some clothes.
And I find that's when you're booking them, you will see that these villas, it's actually quite difficult sometimes to find availability at villas, because the majority of people booking them are staying for extended periods of time. This isn't your weekend getaway. Sometimes it is for people like me who just are right down the street and they just want to try it. But overall, it's not typically one that people book if they're only staying for 2 or 3 nights. They're definitely more geared towards those extended stays, because you can take a day at the resort and you don't even have to leave to go get food. You can cook tacos in your room. So this is also going to make a difference sometimes in how you book these. The villas can be booked through your local travel agent. I'm not even going to say online, through your travel agent. Hello.
Hi, nice to see you.
We will book it for you. But when we talk about the Disney Vacation Club, DVC, that's an entirely different way of booking them. So you can't just go online, click a few things and book a Disney Vacation Club or a DVC room. That is a category of its own, which we'll talk about a little later, how we rent those. So I think there's our big differences.
That's our big differences. I love that. And Liz, just just for everybody to clarify for people who don't know, what exactly is Disney Vacation Club?
So Disney Vacation Club, we're going to call it DVC from here on
Mhm.
out. Hereto referred as
Yes.
DVC. DVC is essentially Disney's timeshare program. So you can buy a timeshare of a Disney resort, and you have access to that resort a certain number of points per year, which is equivalent to a specific number of nights. So you can buy a contract, I think, as low as like 25 points. And there are people who have upwards of 1,000 Disney Vacation Club points. So when you are a Disney Vacation Club member, you pay basically what you would pay for like a condo, or if you've ever owned a timeshare, a portion of a condo. So this can range anywhere from like 15,000 to like 100,000 or more dollars.
Yeah.
But you get those points annually. So when you go to book time at a resort, if you are a Disney Vacation Club member, you aren't booking with money, you're booking with those points that you have purchased, and that will reload year after year after year. There are some people I know that have been Disney Vacation Club owners since the early 90s, and they're not letting those contracts go because they bought them for beans and rice, and they're going to Disney every single year. So if you're a family that likes to stay in that luxury, it might be something worth considering. And Disney does fantastic presentations at all the DVC properties where you can learn more about buying a timeshare, or buying your DVC points and what all the different amenities of it and things are like that. So I've sat through a couple of those presentations because they also give you nice little gift card or a little present or something just for touring the DVC properties. And I mean, they're really cool to tour too. So, I love a good tour. So, but yeah, that is what DVC is all about. So Ash, now tell us, we've already talked about the deluxe resort, so I don't feel like we need to break down what's at every resort, but we have 3 resorts that only offer a villa stay. Yeah. So tell us a little bit more about Saratoga Springs, Old Key West, and the newest of the villas, Riviera, as well as some of the other villa options out there.
Sure. Yeah. So most of the villas, like Liz said, we have talked about the deluxe resorts extensively. You guys can go back and watch that episode. But most of the villas are going to be located at the deluxe resorts. But Saratoga Springs, Old Key West, and Riviera, these are DVC resorts. They are each their own resort, and they are 100% villas. You're not going to find any standard hotel rooms at any of these properties. It's all studios and villas and a couple of suites, and that's it. That's all you're going to find there. So we'll start with Saratoga Springs. This is a really cute resort. It's inspired by the historic Saratoga Springs in upstate New York. The vibe is very 1800s Victorian, very charming. And a lot of you will know that Saratoga Springs is famous for its spas and horse racing. So that definitely plays a role in the aesthetics of Saratoga Springs in Disney World. I got to tell you, I've been to Saratoga Springs in New York, and Disney really has captured that vibe so well. It's really, really cute. And it's located right on Lake Buena Vista, which is where Disney Springs is. So you can literally walk to Disney Springs. You can boat there as well, but it's right next door. And at Saratoga Springs, you're going to find, like Liz said earlier, you're going to find everything from a deluxe studio to a 3-bedroom grand villa. That's going to be the case at most of the villas and DVC offerings, anything from a studio to a villa. And then you're also going to find here, one of the things that I love at Saratoga Springs, very unique, the treehouse villas are here, which I am just kind of oddly obsessed with. I've never stayed in the tree houses.
I stayed in them.
You did? Mm-hmm. I got to tour one a couple years ago. They're just so unique. They're really fun. They're really cute.
They're very cool, and it's so quaint, and the way they design them, they're like you're tucked into like your own little tree. So it's like a true tree house where
Yeah.
yes, there are several of them and there might be one right next door to you, but the way they set you up, you really can't see the other tree houses. So you kind of are in your own little isolated thing. Um, we went with my brother and his kids and our daughter, and they thought it was just the coolest thing ever,
I
because you
love
have
that.
to if you remember Eric talking about him last week too, like there's no
Yeah.
elevators or anything, so you go up these huge flights of stairs to get into them. They have a huge deck that you can just sit out, so they very cool experience. Highly recommend at least once in your life, try it out.
Yeah, we'll do it at some point for sure. Like I have to. I can't not. I absolutely have to.
I'll go with you. We'll
Yeah, let's
split
do
it.
it. Yeah. And then you've got Old Key West. This is also villas only DVC. And again, you're going to find the deluxe studios through the 3-bedroom grand villa, just giant rooms. Really, those grand villas, it feels like more an apartment. Like you're in just a full apartment at that point. And they sleep up to like 12 adults or more. It's just crazy. And at Old Key West, as the name would suggest, the resort is inspired by Key West in Florida. It's very bright, it's very airy, very tropical, sort of whimsical. I think the pool here is really so adorable. The water slide is built into a giant sand castle, and there's like jumping dolphins. It's really cute. And to me, Old Key West, it's very chill and more so like has more of like a residential feel to it. So you don't even really feel like you're at a resort here. I feel like the vibe is more like you're in a legit condo in Florida. Um, and then lastly, the Riviera. We've talked about the Riviera before. This is a Disney Vacation Club only resort. Or there's, villas and everything here. And that goes from the deluxe villas or deluxe studios. There's a couple of suites, and then it goes all the way up through your major villas. Now, as far as the rest of the villa options go, like we said, most of the deluxe hotels are going to have villas in them. So if we start in the Magic Kingdom area, all 3 monorail line resorts do have villa options. The Grand Floridian villas are located in their own building, sort of closer to the wedding pavilion. And then, I mean, even though it's a different building, it still feels very much like you're part of the main resort. You're not like excluded or anything like that. And the decor in these villas are just gorgeous, very beautiful Victorian touches without feeling too antique or too old timey. The Polynesian is similar in that many of the villas feel very much a part of the main resort. The new Island Tower is a bit different. It's a bit separate. So you're still going to have a little bit of a hike to the main lobby and to the monorail, but it's not bad. And then Polynesian has one of the coolest villa options in Walt Disney World, and that's going to be the bungalows.
So cool.
So cool. They are unreal. So these are the over the water bungalows that are inspired by those like over the water huts that you see in places like Bora Bora. I am truly obsessed with these. They have decks on the back of them that overlook the Magic Kingdom, amazing fireworks views, and inside of the deck, you have a plunge pool. I mean, I can't. To sit inside of that plunge pool with like a glass of wine and just watch the fireworks at Magic Kingdom I can't even. So they're amazing. And honestly, I love the decor in all of the villas and in the bungalows at Polynesian. You would swear you are in Hawaii or in Fiji. They all have little nods to Moana or Lilo and Stitch. They're tropical and they're gorgeous and I love them. The last stop on the monorail is the Contemporary. All of the villas at Contemporary are going to be in a totally separate tower called Bay Lake Tower. This is so close to the Magic Kingdom, you would swear you're sleeping in Tomorrowland. Like it is right there. And as you'd expect, the interior design for Contemporary's Bay Lake Tower it's contemporary, it's modern, but it brings in a lot of these elements from Magic Kingdom with a contemporary twist, kind of a Mary Blair vibe. And, you know, Mary Blair's one of the most famous Disney artists. And she really, during like the mid mod period for Disney, 50s, 60s, early 70s, she was it. Okay. She brings like all of this color in. And so they've really taken kind of like her vibe and put an even more contemporary twist on it and decorated these rooms, and they are absolutely stunning. And what's great about Bay Lake is even though you are in a different tower, the main building and the monorail at the Contemporary are very easily accessible through the Skyway. Is that what they call it? That there's a covered walkway that goes between
I
buildings.
think it's just a Skyway. I don't know if it has
The
a special
Skyway.
name. I'm sure it has a special name.
I'm sure it does. And then the last location in the Magic Kingdom area is going to be Wilderness Lodge and Fort Wilderness. Y'all know, I mean, we've talked about this before. I love, love, love the rustic charm of Wilderness Lodge. And it's just cozy and lovely. The suites and the villas here are same. Like just so beautiful. You've got the Copper Creek Villas, which are great because they're like their own wing of the main building. They're attached. They're right there. And then just a short walk away are the Boulder Ridge Villas. They're very similar. They just have just kind of different decor in them. And then one of the things that I really love are the cabins, the Copper Creek.
That's my
cabins.
top bucket list. That is my number.
I was going to
top
ask you
I wanna do
later
it.
if you had a bucket list one. That's it.
My number one.
That might be mine too, because, okay, so these cabins they're kind of akin to the Polynesian bungalows. They're not over the water, but they're right there at the water's edge. And they are these gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous 2-bedroom cabins. They're kind of A-frame-y-ish esque. And they just have like this, the we'll call it the great room or the living room or whatever in the center, these beautiful roaring fireplaces and all of this like natural wood and stonework and floor to ceiling windows that overlook the lake and the wilderness. And again, like the bungalows, they have these porches on the back, these patios. These have out private hot tubs. I mean, I love them so much I could cry. I could. I really could.
They had me at hot tub.
Yeah, right? And speaking of cabins that could make me cry, right next door to Wilderness Lodge is Fort Wilderness, and they have 1-bedroom cabins located here. You just toured these actually, didn't you?
They're so cool. So stinking cute.
Yeah. You can rent a golf cart here and just sort of putt around. It's really, really, it's a gorgeous area. It's very relaxing in there, all of the woodland area and everything. And they're a much more affordable option than the Copper Creek cabins at Wilderness Lodge next door. But you get a lot of bang for your buck here. I mean, these were actually just recently reclassified as deluxe resort villas after they were revamped. And they deserve to be upgraded to that category because they are beautiful. They're so streamlined now, and they did a really great job. So then we go from Wilderness Lodge to Animal Kingdom Lodge. There's the main building, which is the Jumbo House, which offers villas as well as your standard rooms. And then they have an entirely separate building. It almost feels like its own resort called Kidani Village, which is only villas. Now, both of them are, you know, same sort of decor, very immersive with really, really stunning, that African decor that they have. It's just insane. They did such a good job. It's so beautiful. And they both offer savanna views. This is a really great one for people who are really into animals, all the animal lovers out there. And then the last two that I want to talk about are going to be in the boardwalk area. You know, we love it. And that's the Boardwalk and the Beach Club both offer villas as well. And you've heard us gush about this area many, many times. It's just beautiful. It's convenient. We love it so much. And the villas are no exception. They're walkable. They're boatable to both Epcot and Hollywood Studios. I mean, they're the bee's knees. Bees.
Bees.
Poor Danny.
Poor Dave. If we say bees too much, she's not going to listen. She's
She's
afraid of
not going to
them.
listen. She'll turn bees and birds.
Bees and the birds and the bee?
The birds
No,
that
no,
she's
no.
afraid
Wrong podcast. Wrong podcast.
Wrong podcast. Anyway, so the villas at both of those locations are just, they're really beautiful, and they also feel like they're part of the main resorts, right?
Mhm.
You're still right in the middle of all the magic. So that's the vibe.
That is I've actually stayed at Boardwalk Villas and Beach Club Villas, but
Yeah.
neither time did I actually book a villa. I booked just a standard room, and they were like, "Hey, we're going to move you into the villas."
Love
And
that.
yeah, so I just got lucky and stayed at them, but I did enjoy those probably the most of all of the villas at like
Yeah.
these combined ones, just because it's like you said, it's like its own area, but you're not like leaving the resort. Like some of
Yeah.
these, you're actually in a completely separate building.
Right.
And for like the Boardwalk, for example, if you're at the front desk and you go to check in, if you are in Boardwalk Inn, you go to the left. And if you're in the Villas, you go to the right. And that's the
Right.
only difference. But otherwise, it's the same. So
Yeah. Yeah.
it is cool.
Yeah. So we've been talking about DVC and all of these incredible properties that they have. Do you need to be a DVC member to access the DVC specific rooms?
So yes and no. DVC properties have a chunk of the rooms that are owned by the Disney Vacation Club. So they are available to Disney Vacation Club members exclusively. In the past, there were times where those rooms might not sell out for certain days and they were given back to Disney to resell to the consumer. That hasn't happened in probably 5 years because people now have kind of almost like side businesses, but they're not really making massive profits off this. They're just getting their points used. So when booking a DVC room, you are going to need to rent points from one of those members. And there's a couple ways you can do that. So there are several very high rated sites that have been around for a long time, like Dave's DVC, that members actually contract with him to rent out their points to other people. So rather than try to search out someone to rent the points that you're not going to use for that year or whatever, you can sell those points to this website and they will turn around and sell your points to somebody else. So that to me is that's probably the most secure way to book through DVC. There's a lot of them. There's Dave's, there's DVC, there's one called DVC Rental Store. There's a lot of them, but that's definitely the safest way. So you can book one of two ways with them. So the first way, you put in the dates you want, you put in if you want a specific resort or what you're looking for, and they will put out offers to people within their community that have points or have points at certain hotels. That may or may not result in you getting a room. So sometimes someone comes back and says, yep, I will sell you the points for this much. Other times they say, nope, there's no availability, or you don't want to pay what they're offering for. The second way that you see on a lot of these sites is they have what's called a confirmed reservation. So a lot of these DVC members will go on and let's say they have 10 points left to spend. They'll go online and they'll look at the DVC properties and they'll see, is there just one random night floating around or two random nights floating around? And they'll just scoop up those rentals and they'll rent the rental out specifically. And those will also be posted on these websites for you to find. Those tend to be a much bigger bargain when it comes to renting DVC points because there's no flexibility with the dates. You book the confirmed rental they have, and that's what you get. If you are a risk taker like yours truly, there's also several Facebook groups out there that you can join where people sell their DVC. One of my favorites is called Last Minute DVC Rentals on Facebook, where it's literally people are trying to sell off confirmed rentals that are like a week to 2 weeks away, and they just are trying to get rid of them before they cancel and take their points back. I will say, I have done it several times, especially living here during COVID when everything reopened. You could buy those distressed points, they call them, when they're about to expire. You could buy them for literal pennies. Like we stayed 2 nights at the Riviera for like $300. We stayed at Kidani for a week for $1,000. Like People were renting them for nothing because they either had to get some money or they were going to lose the points entirely, because they couldn't travel to the parks. So back in those days, I was renting a lot of distress points just because it was convenient and they were cheap. However, here is my warning to all of you using that. Number one, vet the person you are renting from. And when I say vet, I mean go to their Facebook profile, see how many friends they have, how long their profile's been in existence. Then ask for references within the group. Hey, has anybody rented from Joe Smith before? What can you tell me about him? And then the last thing is, do not send those people money until you have put the reservation in your My Disney experience.
Yeah.
There's a lot of trust that goes into those bookings, both on the buyer and the seller, because a good seller will give you access to the reservation before you send them money. I got scammed on this one time and lost more money than I'd care to admit, because they had me sign a contract. Everything looked legit. They claimed to be someone they weren't. They said, hey, Venmo me the money. I Venmo'd them the money. And then they said, we'll send you, once you send the Venmo, we'll send you the confirmation. And then ghost, crickets. I never heard from them.
You're kidding me.
So that does happen.
Dude.
Never again. I still have rented, I've still rented from those groups without any issue, but you just have to do your research and make sure you're vetting the person you're buying from, because there's a lot of scammers out there. There's a lot of hackers out there. But if you're ever purchasing, and you'll find that even with like Dave's DVC or DVC rentals, any of those, they will give you the confirmation before you pay them the money. So if you don't have that exchange, don't send a penny until they give you that number.
Yeah.
Oh,
right.
There's definitely a sense of trust that goes into them, but it's a really, really great way to save money. However, if you don't want to run the risk of being scammed by a DVC poser, and you decide instead you want to pursue this DVC membership for yourself, Ashlyn, what are some other perks to DVC membership aside from just a resort stay?
Yeah, so being a DVC member is you're basically VIP status. That's what it is. And there are some amazing perks that go along with that. So first of all, DVC gets access to savings on tickets and savings on special events, savings on things like VIP tours. They're saving on everything. They're going to get discounts on dining and merch. And typically that means they're going to get 10 to 20% off of dining and shopping across Walt Disney World. And they also, this is one perk that I get jealous of. I really shouldn't, but I do. They get their own special merch too, in the parks and at resorts that only they can buy. So if you are not a DVC member, you cannot waltz up and buy this merch. Not today, peasants. It's not happening. And trust me, I have tried. I'm like, seriously, just sell me that hat. I'll kick you an extra $10, please. And they don't. They won't. So DVC members also have access to things like the Sorcerer Annual Pass, which is generally only offered to Florida residents. But if you are a DVC member and you don't live in the state of Florida, you can get it as well. And it's a much more, affordable annual pass option. And this is a major perk for frequent visitors. DVC members are also going to get exclusive access to member events like Moonlight Magic. These are complimentary after hours events that are only for DVC members. And you're going to get short wait times, free snacks. They've got rare characters that make appearances. And I think this might be one of the most loved perks of being DVC. People seem to really, really love things like this. And then there are also private DVC lounges in the parks and in the resorts for them to enjoy without, again, all of the peasants there sweating all over them. I'm one of the peasants. It's like an exclusive sort of like airport lounge, and you just really want to get in there and have access to that. And you look in and you're like, please, sir, please let me in. And no, you can't. And then one thing, we discussed this a little bit in the deluxe resort episode. This is not exclusive to DVC, but it is another perk of staying at a DVC property. And that's most of these villas and DVC properties, they're going to be in very close proximity to the parks and things to do. So, while Saratoga and Old Key West are kind of farther removed, they are very, very close to Disney Springs. Animal Kingdom is going to be really, really close to the Animal Kingdom park. And then you've got the Boardwalk hotels and the Magic Kingdom hotels. So each of them really is going to be close, sometimes within walking distance to something to do, whether that's Disney Springs or a park. So that's that in a nutshell. So Liz, girl, you've stayed at several of the villas. Who would you advise to choose a villa over a standard room?
We talked about this a little at the top of the episode, but first and foremost, I always go villa when I'm talking to a family of 5 or more. If and whether it's a family or multiple families traveling, they just have a little extra space, and cramming 5 people in a hotel room, but we used to do it when I was a kid. We would lie and say there were 5 of us when there were actually 6 of us, and we would cram into a hotel room. That was just a true hotel, and it's tight. It is very tight. You're trying, and when we think Disney, of course you have all of the luggage and the merchandise you get from the parks. You have the blankets and pillow, anything you travel with, but then almost every room you think of, if you're traveling with a family, you got a stroller, you got to fit in there too.
Mm-hmm.
And when you have a tight squeeze hotel room, trying to find that perfect corner to squeeze your stroller in, especially if it's a double stroller or a larger stroller, it's a challenge because you can't just leave your stroller outside your hotel room. You just don't do it. So again, if you have a large number of people, I'm always going to lean towards villa because it's just going to make your life a little bit easier, even in a studio. The same thing if I hear families that are traveling, multiple families, but they want to stay together. I had mentioned I travel sometimes with my brother and his 3 kids. We like to do it as just kind of like a weekend trip every now and then where we go to Disney Springs and we stay somewhere, but the kids like to stay together. They don't want to be in separate hotel rooms. They want to be able to walk out and see everybody or all sleep in the same room. So the villas are just a much more cost efficient way to do that than both families booking a hotel, because typically it's going to be a little bit cheaper or roughly the same price to book 2 standard rooms. The second thing I would say, those villas are wonderful if you have a small child or a couple small kids traveling with you. A lot of families I know will get just a simple 1 bedroom and they'll put the kids in the bedroom so they have the whole villa to themselves in the evening. So when the kids go to bed early, sometimes they have all this space for themselves.
Yeah.
So if you're traveling with littles that need naps, or maybe they just go to bed at 7 o'clock, having that extra bedroom, that space to be able to, just have a noise machine and stick them in there. It's a really nice amenity to have, so you can have a little alone time away from the kids. Haley was telling me once that she does this with her kids often, so she can just sit and drink a glass of wine after the kids go to sleep and she can just have a moment of peace. So
that sounds lovely.
Oh, it is. So if you have littles, definitely a great option. Also, if you have some sort of special diet that you want to stick to, maybe it's because your family is vegetarian or vegan, or maybe you have people who are very gluten intolerant or have a really bad allergy to gluten, and you don't want to risk eating in the restaurants or whatever it may be. Those villas give you a full kitchen when you talk about the 1 bedrooms or higher. And even some of the studios, you get a nice sized kitchenette where you can prepare a lot of your own food. So if you have someone in your family that maybe has just a lot of severe food allergies and you don't want to risk eating in these dinners eating these dinners in any of these restaurants, having a kitchen is great. And on that same line, it's a big money saver. I mean, I spend a lot, probably as much on the food as I do on everything else, because I like to eat.
We spend a lot of money on food and drink at Disney World. We do. We always put in way more in our budget than we think we're going to need because it's just,
And
it's so delicious though.
And I even do, like, I've tried the gift cards at Epcot where I'm like, when it's done, I'm not spending any more money.
Yeah, I'm so sure.
And then it's done and I'm like, yeah, but I really wanted to try. So, but if you really do want to keep to a budget and you're like, no, I need to make sure we're not spending more than X dollars on food, having a kitchen where you can just do an Instacart order to the hotel and have your groceries because you have that full-size fridge and you can cook meals at the resort if you want to. And then I also think if you really want to do a resort stay or planned resort days, villas are just the way to go because there are so many things to do at these villas. It's crazy how much there is to do at these villas because all the resorts are going to have a pool. All the resorts are going to have different entertainment, movies on the lawn, roasting s'mores, trivia at the pool. Every resort's going to have that. But when you talk about the villas, now you're going to start seeing the little extra stuff. So they're going to have the community halls, which we haven't even talked about the community halls.
No, we haven't. Talk about them now.
I'm going to. I just realized that we've never talked about the community halls.
No.
So the community halls are these 100% free areas of the resort. They're a separate building or a separate room of the resort that have activities that you can do every day. They have paid activities like different arts and crafts you can pay for, but then they also have this activity on every one I've ever been to where you can color a magnet every day. You can make your own magnet and bring it home with you. They have gaming systems. They have movies playing. They have air hockey. They have pinball. They have different, the one at the boardwalk I found has these like tracing tables where you can practice tracing different artworks. And they have cast members there specifically to run activities at the community hall. So it's just so much fun. Like there's so much to do at the resort in those community halls. I love them. I think that's one of the best perks of some of these villas.
I mean, you could seriously, especially when you're staying at the villas, you don't even need to go into the parks. I mean, there is so much to do within the villas and the community halls. These community spaces where they have all of this to do. That's in addition to things like the arcade and everything else. They're so fun,
and all of that is 100% complimentary, and that is. There's not a lot of free things at Disney. So to find several free things that you can do at Disney, all within this one space, that's great. If you don't want to be at the parks every day, maybe your kids are little and you're like, I know they're going to survive 2 or 3 days of our week trip and then they're going to just melt down. So I'd rather put a day in between those. So resort days at villas are unlike any other resort day, if you ask me.
Yeah, I agree. I was going to say too, another group of people that I would suggest look into villas when they're traveling is going to be larger parties like girls trips or a bachelorette party. Or if you're on just like a friend trip or an adult only trip, something like that, something where you're trying to save a little bit money, but you want to go a little bougie and splurge a little bit too. The villas are great for that because if you're traveling with 8, 10, 12 people and you guys are all splitting the cost of one of these villas, that's a really great way to do it. Really great way.
Shout out agency trip in October. We rented like that 3-bedroom grand villa at Bay Lake Tower for 12 of us.
See, there you go.
All of us are staying in one. Okay. We got to do it because we did it with every resort. I'm gonna mix it up a little this time though. So instead of just doing like a list or top, bottom, whatever.
Okay.
What's your favorite?
Yes.
What's your least favorite?
Yeah.
And what's your bucket list?
My favorite currently, and this is going to be a nostalgic pick for me. Okay. It's going to be the cabins at Fort Wilderness. And I'm picking them. That was the very first place I stayed on my very first trip to Disney World. I don't remember it. I was 4 months old, but I have pictures. And it reminds me a lot. We stayed there a lot with like my grandparents and extended family because like you were talking about, we would just cram as many people as we could into these cabins. I mean, because back in the day, you could do that. You can't get away with that so much anymore, but back in the day you could. And they're just, to me, they're very cozy. I love having a golf cart there and just being able to zip over to the boat and take the boat over to Magic Kingdom. I don't know. I really love them. And it's definitely a nostalgic pick for me. It's going to be the cabins at Wilderness Lodge or Fort Wilderness. My least favorite, I think we all already know that it's Riviera.
I couldn't even keep it straight. Snorted.
Like, I think we knew it. We all knew it was coming. No one's surprised. And I'm not going to be sorry about it anymore. I feel the way that I feel. I have my feelings. I'm living my truth. I'm owning my truth.
Not everyone has to like it. There has to be people out there that don't like it. So
yeah, we're those people. Yeah. And then I think my bucket list, I mean, the cabins at Copper Creek are a big one, but also the
you
bungalows.
get to pick one bucket list. You don't get two for this.
You're so mean. You're a mean mom.
Pick one. You gotta you only can do it because that's going to be the one you put $20 aside for, basically for life, to afford. So what's it going to be?
I guess it's going to be the bungalows.
Okay.
Wow. I guess it's going to be the bungalows. I love Polynesian. Oh my gosh, Liz, you're really can you see like the gears turning in my brain and like oil.
Sophie's choice moment ever.
This is the most Sophie's choice moment. I'm gonna go with the bungalows. I really love Polynesian. I really love being on the monorail line. And as much as I love Wilderness Lodge, and as much as I think that the cabins at Copper Creek are just utterly stunning, to me, I just can't get this vision of me luxuriating in this plunge pool with a bottle of wine watching fireworks over the castle. So that's the one I'm going to pick.
There you go.
What about you? What are your answers?
So my favorite, this one might actually surprise you, but my favorite is Saratoga Springs.
Really?
Yes. So, and I tell you why, when we're talking about villas, so I'm not talking about what my Disney stay choice is. I'm talking if I'm picking a villa specifically.
Right.
I really enjoy the actual properties and amenities that you find at Saratoga Springs. So we've done the tree houses. That's a whole different experience from staying in just a regular 1-bedroom villa, which, fun fact, the last time we stayed in a 1-bedroom villa, it was an accessible one, which Disney does an incredible job with these accessible rooms, but it was a specific accessible for wheelchair guests.
Mm-hmm.
So you can imagine the height of everything.
Oh
in
my
that room
goodness.
was like a hobbit, and my husband is almost 6 feet tall. So it was, I mean, it was very funny, but regardless, our balcony overlooked the golf course, which was it just felt luxury. There, where our building was, we were right by, there's 3 pools. And we were right by one of the quieter pools that had a really fun splash pad. Our daughter was just under 2 at the time, had a really fun splash pad. It was very quiet. And then you walk towards the main building and they have that really big one. And to me, this might sound crazy, but my favorite feature of Saratoga Springs and their pool is they have a kiddie size water slide. Mm-hmm. So it is just a tiny little water slide. My not even 2-year-old went down it like 47 times. She just went crazy on that thing because it wasn't big. She didn't disappear from my sight as she was going down it. And it had the 0 entry. So overall, when I talk villa experience, every time I stay at Saratoga, we may go to the park for a day, but we don't really leave unless it's to walk to Disney Springs. But they have the Surrey bikes there. I mean, there's so much to do at Saratoga. We have always just had such a wonderful time. And speaking of community halls, it is one of the largest community halls of all the ones I've been at. It is massively huge.
Yeah.
And it extends outdoors as well. And there's a full area with like gaming tables, cornhole boards, and everything just outside the community hall that they run activities out there. Patrick and I are the reigning cornhole champs of the Saratoga Springs Cornhole well, from the last time we were there. I'm sure they've hosted one since, but we won.
I didn't know I was in the presence of royalty, cornhole royalty.
There may not have been anyone else entered in the cornhole tournament, but we still won.
Were you playing against yourself?
Against the cast. The cast members were like, well, we'll play you. And we smoked them. But yeah, so that is, weirdly enough, that is my, that's my favorite. I really loved it. And I'm about to throw everybody for a loop here.
Oh no.
My least favorite of all the villas I've stayed at was Riviera.
Oh yeah, everyone's shocked.
Mm-hmm. Well, no, but I'm not the one that talks bad about Riviera. So I'll say this. Rooms were pristine, gorgeous.
They are
beautiful.
Gorgeous. They are gorgeous.
We had a room where the balcony overlooked the bocce ball courts, and I loved it because we would go out on the balcony and watch people play bocce. You could watch the Skyliner from our room. So pristine.
Yes.
However, here's why it's my least favorite. We booked that with DVC distress points, so we paid nothing because it was right around COVID, and I've wanted to go back since. And I mean, that's a sell a kidney type stay, and as beautiful as it was, I don't think it was so beautiful that it's worth my kidney. If you need a super luxurious hotel or super luxurious hotel stay, Riviera would probably be right up your alley. But for me, I want more than just luxury. I want some more amenities. I want some more things to do. And Riviera just, to me, really fell short with some of those additional amenities that you find at a lot of these villas. So as gorgeous as it is, not my favorite of the villas. And I already said my bucket list, but the cabins at Copper Creek are, because your vision of you sitting in the plunge pool with the wine is my vision of me sitting in the hot tub with my margarita. That I just see it.
We just need to do both of them is what we need to do.
You will do your bucket list and I'll come with you, and then we'll do mine and you'll come with me.
This is a great plan. I love it.
Yeah. I think
Who wants to sponsor us? Who wants to sponsor these shenanigans?
We just gotta, just keep the ball rolling, keep collecting the snowball as we go. And somebody out there is going to want to sponsor us. I just feel it.
I feel it too. It's going to happen. I can feel it. Okay. Anyway, I think it's time to move on to one of our favorite things. Magical mailbag. This is where we answer the questions that you sent us via DM on Instagram. Liz, numero uno is for you, my girl. This is from Jackie R. in North Carolina. She says, I'm planning a Disney trip with my newborn who will be 5 months. What's the best resort that is infant friendly and will be best for transport back and forth to parks, especially Magic Kingdom?
If you are planning the Magic Kingdom thing, you want the pictures of your kid in front of the castle. You want to experience a lot of those infant friendly rides, which Magic Kingdom by far has the most rides without height limits. So there's just a lot of things that a small child can do. To me, when your kid is that young and they're really not remembering a lot of what's happening, I'm going to say contemporary is going to be your best bet. So as far as like the decor and overall theming of contemporary, it gets a lot of not love because it kind of looks like an airport on the inside. But I think with a 5-month-old, it is a really nice option. And I'm going to take it a step further and say you probably want to pick something in the garden wing of the contemporary. So when you look at the contemporary or Bay Lake Tower, if we're talking villas, Bay Lake Tower is also a great option. There's 3 locations within the contemporary. You have Bay Lake Tower, which we talked about is the DVC villas. You have the main tower, which is when you ride the monorails where you go through, that's the main tower. And then off to the side, you have these they almost feel like secluded area called the garden wing. And it's just this small area of the hotel where there are some more rooms and things over there, but it's very removed from the busy hustle and bustle of the contemporary. The noise level's very minimum over there.
Mhm.
If you pick the right one, you might be right out there by Bay Lake, and you can see the electrical water pageant. You can walk right out onto a beach. So it really is just a very quiet area. Second, the rooms in the contemporary are some of the biggest rooms I have ever stayed in. So even when you're talking just a standard queen or king room, they are humongous.
They're
So if
giant.
you're bringing a pack and play with you, you're requesting a crib from the resort, there's plenty of room for that crib, for your stroller, and for yourself in that room. They are that big. They're so
Mhm.
big. So that again, if we're talking about wanting some space, beautiful. And then for me, why I say this is best for a 5-month-old, everyone knows a baby that little, they got a sleep schedule. You have to try to keep somewhat to it even when you're on vacation. If you're fortunate enough to have a baby that sleeps in the stroller and will just crash out in there, hats off, kudos to you, you're lucky. But if you have a child who is very, very picky about their sleep regimen, you're going to want to be able to get back to your resort without having to wait for transportation. And
Mhm.
the Contemporary is one of the few resorts that you can get from the Magic Kingdom back to your resort via walking path in 5-10 minutes. It's a
Yep.
very, very short, quick walk that you are not battling a line to get on the monorail or waiting for a boat or anything like that. You just walk. Yes, you can walk to the Grand Floridian. Yes, you can walk to Polynesian, but it's a hike. It's not a quick walk. It's 15-20 minutes minimum to walk to those ones. So,
Yeah.
I think that's just a really great option where you can maximize your times in the park, but really help that little baby feel comfortable in the park. When we went with Q when she was little, we stayed in the Contemporary for that exact reason, because
Yeah.
we could go over there when she was ready to go. She was having her meltdown. We would walk back. And what you will find, Jackie R., I don't know if this is your first child or not, but if it is your first child, that cranky schedule that your child will begin to follow, your husband's going to follow it too at Disney. They might not follow, he might not follow it at home, but at Disney, husbands get cranky around the same time babies get cranky. So having that nice little break in the quiet, in the air conditioning, totally, totally worth it.
Stunning.
Store that, Ashlyn, for when you are taking your little baby.
Oh, I'm storing it. You better believe it.
So we got one more this week, though, so you get to do one too.
Let's do it.
From Peter K in Florida.
Peter.
I saw that Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party tickets went on sale this week. Do the parties really sell out that quickly?
Great question. So yes, if you if you've been on social media lately, if you are on the Disney sphere of social media, you have probably seen a lot of posts floating around about Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party, because yes, we are not even like into summer yet. But Disney is gearing up for Halloween because this is wildly, wildly popular. So just briefly, for those of you who don't know what it is, Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party is a special after hours event at Magic Kingdom. They've got trick or treating. They've got some really fun Halloween characters, rare character appearances. You're going to see like the Sanderson sisters, things like that. We're going to see characters in fun Halloween costumes. There's a Halloween parade, special entertainment, fireworks. And of course, you're going to be able to be there where there are much shorter wait times for all of the rides at Magic Kingdom. And almost everybody comes dressed as a character. Everyone comes in costumes, or they come in their Halloween gear. It's just a blast. It's really cute, really, really fun. So Peter, do tickets sell out fast? Yes. Some dates shockingly fast. Some dates it's like blink and they're gone. But you also have some breathing room for other dates. So this year specifically, the party goes from August 7th to Halloween, and that's just select nights through those couple of months. Halloween night and those dates that are getting closer to the end of October, those are all going to sell out really quickly. Opening night is also another one. You get a lot of influencers and stuff who want to be there opening night. That sells out really quickly. They disappear. But every other party night, typically, you've got a little bit of breathing room. Most of them, they're going to sell out eventually. Like this is one of those events that Disney does. They just do it so well. People come back literally year after year after year. I mean, there are people who've done this for like 10 plus years in a row. Like they just don't miss it because it's that fun. And it's such a fun, it's just such a fun trick-or-treating alternative. Like if your kids are getting bored trick-or-treating around your neighborhood, this is an absolute blast. It's so cool. So yeah, every party is going to sell out eventually. Usually by the end of the summer, things get pretty well booked up. So if you're looking to do Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party, book as soon as possible just to be safe, especially if you're trying to book Halloween or October, anything like that. Don't panic. Just don't procrastinate. There's that. So that's Magic Mailbag today. Remember, remember, if you have any questions or topics that you'd like us to cover on the show, just shoot us a DM on Instagram for a chance to have them featured on future episodes. You guys, that's all the time we have for today. Thanks for listening. Thank you for being a friend. I need to go to bed. Be sure to follow and subscribe to Dreams and Destinations on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube. And remember, new episodes drop every Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so come back and see us for more.
And if you don't already, follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Dreams and Destinations Podcast. And don't forget to follow A Dream and a Wish Travel Co. on social media. You can visit our agency website or any of our Instagrams to request a vacation quote. And the links, as always, are in the show notes. Thank you again for listening. And don't forget to tune in next week when we actually, hopefully, definitely, maybe are comparing Walt Disney World in Orlando to Disneyland in California.
Assuming Danny has cleared up her bee problem by then.
Be real soon.
Bye-bye.
Secrets unfold every